Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. Now, I don't know if you heard this story, but over in South Carolina, a guy decided to pull off a major heist with, get this, a Nintendo light gun. Yeah, the ones that we used back in the 80s to blast off ducks out of the sky in that game Duck Hunt. Oh, the guy was really super sneaky. He wore a mask and a wig and a hoodie. And then with his Duck Hunt gun controller, which he spray painted black, he scared the pants off of some store clerk by waving the thing around and demanding cash. He got $300. Now, fortunately, he got caught. Police found him in a Dollar General parking lot with the gun stuffed in his pants. Yep, I guess you could say it was a robber duck. Oh, yes, that was good. All right. Hey, listen, I'm Kim Commando. America's beloved digital goddess here with you once again. And of course, it's the nation's largest show about all things digital. And if you are a regular listener, glad to have you back. And if you're brand new, what took you so long? But we do welcome you. And you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top radio stations across the United States. And you can find us as a podcast, as a webcast, commercial-free, over at commando.com. It's just part of the perks of being a member of the Commando community, where it's just a few bucks a month. And in case you want to check it out, you get 30 days free. And I think we offer discounts for everyone, really. Service personnel, military vets, seniors, anybody over the age of 50, teachers, you name it. Again, it's the Commando community. And again, you get a 30-day free trial over on the website, commando.com. And a special shout out goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force in 175 different countries. Hi there, guys and gals. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder that you can send me your questions. And I know you like to do it on social, but the best way really is just to do it right on the website. It's kind of old school, but this way I know they're all in one place. Head over to commando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. Alrighty, every single day I check out 30 different websites to make sure that I'm up to date on everything that's happening in the tech world. And here are 5 things that you need to know. And let's start at number 1. And let me tell you, there's just a lot to cover because Apple put on a big show this past week at the WWDC. That's short for the Worldwide Developers Conference. And that's where they outline new products set to be released just in time for this year's holiday gift-giving season. Now, the WWDC, it was long. 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 11 seconds. Yeah, I sat through all of it just for you. But Apple hasn't introduced a new product really for about 10 years. That was remember it, the Apple Watch. And that's why this year's was a big one. And they had to make up for this lack of innovation. They launched their new augmented reality goggles that they're calling the Vision Pro. So instead of these clumsy Oculus-type meta headsets, Vision Pro, I want you to picture it's like a scuba mask. And the front can be transparent so you can see what's going on in the outside world. Or if you're working on something, it can turn reflective like a mirror. And yes, you can play video games, but for $3,500, it better be for more than just playing games. Vision Pro will completely replace your TV and video monitor. I'm talking about apps, documents, videos, movies. Anything that you'd see on a screen appears just suspended right in front of you. So your hands, your voice, your eyes will replace the mouse. It's going to be out in about 6 months. And when my husband saw it, he came right into my office. He said, I never want any new tech, but I really want those Apple Vision Pro glasses. I was just so tempted to tell him that's never going to happen. Now, beyond the Vision Pro, there's a lot of big new features coming down the pipeline. There's so many, I can't mention it all here, but we have a whole write-up over on the website. The latest version of iOS 17 comes out in mid-September. And I'll tell you, all the geeks of the week, they were really excited about call screening. You remember when you had that answering machine and somebody would call and you'd wait for them to leave a voicemail before you pick up? Well, now you can do this on your iPhone. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't leave a voicemail. I just text somebody. Here's the reason why I told you not to buy a new MacBook over the last 3 months, because they actually came out with a $1,300 15-inch MacBook Air. It's only 11.5 millimeters thick. Wow. Weighs 3 pounds, 18 hours of battery life, ships next week. Safari got a whole slew of privacy updates. You can now share passkeys. That's logging without a password, more private browsing windows. And then they also announced something called Personal Voice. That's where you can use AI to create a replica of your voice in about 15 minutes. It's actually pretty cool. It's designed for people who are losing their voice. But I'm just sitting here going, oh, cringe. Just imagine how it's going to be used for scammers, right? Also on the new Apple list, no more what the duck. That's right. They finally fixed that issue. That's when you want to use a certain word and autocorrect changes it to duck for you. Huge relief for those of us that are tired of innocent duck conversations going down a foul path. Ooh, iPad iOS 17 finally works with PDFs. Yeah, thank goodness for that. You can open them in Notes. You can annotate, edit, collaborate in real time. AirPods gets a trick. This is really handy. If you run into a friend while out walking with your AirPods Pro, the music in your ears will lower so you can hear them better. And then watch OS 10 apps like Activity have been overhauled, so they're easier to see. And you can also now turn that digital crown to see widgets and get information faster from your Apple Watch, which is really much needed. So there's a lot. And as I already said, there's a whole slew of these things and more that we wrote out over on the website. So if you're an Apple fanboy or girl, you might want to check that out. And I started thinking about it. If Apple and Kia were to make a car together, what would its name be? Ready? Anybody? IKEA. Ah, yes. All right. All right, let's move on. Still no update on how PC and Apple's like to work together because Apple, well, they don't really like Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't really like Apple, but Microsoft attempted to mend the relationship with something that they called Phone Link earlier this year. Well, as it turns out, it's not working that great. It's supposed to streamline file transfers between iMessaging so you can use your iPhone on your Windows PC to do a whole bunch more. Well, Certo Software, this is a company that specializes in spyware detection. They did a whole bunch of research, and they say that cyberstalkers are exploiting the phone link feature to spy on victims. Here's what's happening. The creeps scan a QR code from their PC with your iPhone, setting up a Bluetooth connection. Then just a few tweaks in the iPhone settings, they can start funneling all your data from your phone right to that PC. So if you're worried that someone might be abusing phone link with your iPhone, just go to the connected devices in your iPhone's Bluetooth settings. And if there is a device and you're like, I wonder what that is, just cut it loose. And coming in last on our list of 5 things, how exactly do you spell that? It's an embarrassing Google search for me. It really is. It's not what you're thinking. Get your head out of the gutter. It's when I'm trying to figure out how to spell a word and I'm like, I'm not sure how to do that. Well, the folks over at Unscrambled Words, that's a Words with Friends, Scrabble, or even a Wordle cheat site. It looked at your Google search data, and here's what they found. The top 5 words that people Googled because they aren't sure how to spell it, number 1 is restaurant. 2, pneumonia. Yeah, that one always gets me too. Appreciate, receipt. Come on, folks, receipt, really? I before E except after C. And beautiful. Now, on the flip side, can you spell the word that 8th grader Deb Shaw had to know to win the Scripps National Spelling Bee last week? It's samophile. Okay, anybody know what that means? I actually had to look it up myself. A plant or animal that prefers or thrives in sandy areas. Okay, how do you spell that? Okay, I'm going to give you a second. You're wrong. You already started out wrong. P-S-A-M-M-O-P-H-I-L-E. Samophile. Hope I pronounced it right. I'm not even sure. I couldn't even spell it if I wanted to. But I started thinking about sandy, right? This always gets to me. You know, whenever hurricane season is here, they always give them such boring names like Sandy. Remember Hurricane Sandy? I always think like we should name that thing Hurricane Death Megatron 9000. Okay, instead of Sandy. And I guarantee you that people would be just evacuating like rats. Not Hurricane Sandy. It sounds like nice. No, Hurricane Death Megatron 9000. That's what we need. All right, coming up, we have a list of AI jobs that you might be able to qualify, and they're paying something close to $400,000 a year. And we've got some tips on double VPNs. We have a really great question we're going to be asking one of our special guest contestants and how to see everything you've done on Facebook and a whole bunch more that you don't want to miss here on Kim Komando Today. Wow, look at all these great callers. Let's get started already with Victoria in La Jolla, California.
Oh, well, I run a small animal rescue, and it is in a location that does not have hardwired internet access or cable, but it does have electricity. We use it as an office and also to help us with our rescue animals. The problem is I was recently assaulted there, and the police say we need to have security video cameras, which we're happy to put up, but when we went to get them, we were told that they have to have hardwired internet access. What can we do?
Well, does your cell phone work there?
It does, but it's not optimal. I mean, I'm not there all the time. If it only works.
Oh no, I understand.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
No, I just want to know. I just want to make sure, Victoria, that there's a cell signal getting
Absolutely.
to where the place is.
Clearly, yes. Very good signal, actually.
All right. So here's what we're going to do: is that there are several companies that do this, that make these. So we're going to, recommend some security cameras for you that work on 4G. So it's going to work on LTE. And they're rechargeable batteries with a solar panel, so you don't have to worry about getting electricity to them.
Perfect.
And they're actually really good. I mean, so it's 4 megapixel night vision, two-way talk. It can detect people, detect vehicles, so you automatically get a notification if that happens. And they're about $200, but it's really hard to replace that with something else when you don't want to put in the electricity and you don't have cable and you don't have a really good way to get an internet connection. That's why you're looking at an LTE, like mobile wireless outdoor camera.
Yes.
So what kind of animals do you rescue?
Oh, we do everything. Primarily, of course, cats and dogs, who are the most popular. But in the last year, we've done horses and snakes and, oh gosh, we did a couple of frogs. We don't turn anything down.
Frogs?
Frogs, F-R-O-G-S. I know people called up and said, "Oh, we've got this frogs in our front yard. What are we going to do?" And we don't have water. We don't know where they came from. Blah blah blah. So we contacted the aqua. We're very well connected because we've been in rescue for 40 years, and so we contacted the frog rescue people, who we were able to give them to.
Wow! And then the snake, really?
Yes. If you're on Nextdoor, you see lots of people find snakes in their backyards, like boa constrictors, animals that are not indigenous to our area. Obviously, we don't want to rescue something that's the environment they live in, right? But boa constrictors, you don't see those so much in Southern California natively. So, again, we're connected with the snake rescue people. So we call up and say, "Could you come and get this out of a tree or a bathroom or somebody's yard or blah, blah, blah?" And off they come. Yeah, if we can rescue, we will. But something like a boa constrictor, not something I have a lot of personal familiarity with. But we don't want to leave them out there either, because we do animal rescue.
I'm sure. I don't think I could help you out with that. Are you nonprofit?
We are.
So here, let me do this. I'm going to send you one. My contribution to your animal rescue.
Bless your heart.
So this way you can get those alerts and rescue the snakes and the horses and the frogs and the cats and the dogs, everything
and
else.
We'll send you a cat. You want a cat? We'll send you a cat.
No, Victoria. But thank you for that. I don't need a cat. I have a 90-pound golden retriever who is.
Oh, you're spoiled.
Yes, and she's wonderful. Her name's Abby. But she's a big girl. And you know what, Victoria, I have to tell you, I was working today, and she gets on my lap. I think she still thinks she's a lap dog. And I'm like, yes. Abby, Abby, I mean, I don't weigh much more than you. Okay, you need to move. Okay, you just need to move. So, Victoria, hang on the line, and then we're going to get your name and address. We have your whole name and the name of the rescue, and then this way we can send you out as our random acts of kindness for this show about a free cellular camera for your animal rescue. That's nonprofit there in La Jolla, California. All right, let's see. Vicki in South Bend, Indiana.
Hi, Kim. I'm just thrilled that I'm able to talk with you. I totally love your radio show and your website, and you are the go-to person. We have any problems or questions or whatever, we automatically immediately go to commando.com.
Oh, thank you. That's kind of you. Thank you.
We currently have a Dell XPS 8710 desktop, and it can't be upgraded to Windows 11, and it expires in October 14th, 2025. So we do have a little bit of wiggle room. But we're currently looking at a couple of computers. The one is the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 10 or 11, or even possibly later. And then we're also looking at the Dell XPS 15. And we've even thought about like the Asus. But our concern is, whether it's Lenovo or any of the other ones, is there software preloaded by the manufacturer? Can that cause data or personal information to be stolen? And then, is the BIOS secure?
Oh, so you're really worried about China. Is that it, Vicki?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We'll just cut to the chase. All right. And by the way, you know what? I don't think I've ever planned for a new computer 2 years in advance. So high five for you, because normally it's like, oh crap, I need a new computer tomorrow. I better go to Costco or wherever to go buy one. And you have plenty of time, by the way.
Yeah, well, the thing, we don't have to jump on it right now, except the prices right now are pretty good for the Gen 10.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like, do we want to buy it now or wait, like 2 years?
Well, here's the deal. If I didn't need a computer for 2 years, I wouldn't buy one right now. I just wouldn't do it. Even though you say the prices are really good right now, things are changing astronomically in computer land because of AI. And what's going to be needed for AI is completely different. What is going to be needed 2 years from now, what you might be looking at now, especially with Apple coming out with their VR headset. There's just some really fundamental changes that are happening. But I want to address the Lenovo. Now, the U.S. Department of Commerce, they have something called an entity list. And there are 25 Chinese companies, organizations that were just added to this whole recent update. Now, one company that's on the list is Lenovo. Of course, it's founded in Beijing, and it has about 900 U.S. municipalities and states that are using Lenovo products. But nobody in the military can use a Lenovo product. The Marines stationed in Iraq, they stopped using their tech because the data is being transmitted back to China. The U.S. Air Force just replaced about $400 million worth of servers that were purchased from Lenovo. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not using a Lenovo machine at home, and I'm not using it at work. And I would suggest that you not do the same. So as far as some replacements for this Dell computer, if you want to look at it right now, the Dell XPS 15 is fabulous, as is, I don't remember how you said it, but it's called Asus, ASUS. That's the ZenBook. They have the 14, which is actually pretty darn good. So take a look at either one of those. And then if you need any help afterwards, just know I'm always here for you. Thank you for your kind words, Vicki. It's good to be concerned with the tech that you're buying and that it has ties possibly to China. The FCC banned sales and imports of Huawei devices because of national security concerns. Also, OnePlus and Oppo, they face similar accusations. And don't forget, DJI drones. I know they're fabulous, but we don't let our military use them. I'm just saying. All right, we're going to mix it up here on the Kim Komando Show. I have a different type of question we're going to be asking one of our special guest contestants that you don't want to miss, ever. Okay, it's time now for Is the Internet Right or Wrong? Now, here's the deal. I'm going to present you with a real question posted on Reddit in a forum where people want to know if they're right or wrong in a decision that they've made. So I'm going to read you all this situation, and then you have to decide, is the person good or bad in their decision-making skills? Now, to add to the excitement, we have a special guest ready to take on the challenge and compete for a grand prize. And you know what that is? A Kim Komando Show fanny pack, absolutely priceless, and a free bag of Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend dog food. That's a value of $59.95. And joining us this week is Mike from Knoxville, Tennessee. Hi there, Mike.
Hi, Kim. How you doing today?
Great. What do you do there in Knoxville?
Well, I do nothing in Knoxville. I'm in Greenville, Tennessee, and my wife Sharon and I just closed on a house in Chuckey, Tennessee, which is on the eastern part of the state. So we've never been to Knoxville other than to visit, but we are retired here, so that's what we do.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, I'm going to read you a story that was posted on the Reddit forums, and then it's up to you to decide, is the internet right or wrong in deciding, is this person really, I can't say the word on the air, but it starts with an A.
Right.
Okay. Or are they just kind of or was it okay that they made this decision? Okay.
Okay. And
so this woman wrote.
Before we start, can I ask you, can I phone an enemy?
Yeah, right? No.
Okay. Just wanted to know.
Not at all. Okay. All right. So here's the story, Mike. A 50-year-old woman wrote on Reddit that she lost her husband 4 years ago. And her husband left everything to her and told her to, quote unquote, trust me with his lawyer. And he was a doctor and he made some really good investments. And so she inherited over 7 figures. So she says in the forum, a year later, I decided to list our home of 12 years and I received an offer for the house just too good to refuse. She moved with her 16-year-old daughter to a home in Malibu. And she says, oh, we always dreamed of a home on the beach, but my husband was exceptionally tight-fisted, and he called homes there complete money pits. Well, she didn't account for the extra cost beyond just the price of the house. And as she says, her daughter was so excited that they decided to go for it. But her late husband's lawyer was furious, so she just decided to stop taking his calls, and she ended up signing with a money manager who said that she could be passively earning 90% of what doctors earn per year. She said, well, that's a pretty darn good deal if you don't have to do anything. So turns out this money manager made some bad investments, and then things got worse. She was left with only about $35,000, plus she has all this debt on this house. So her idea? She liquidated her 16-year-old daughter's college fund completely to pay for the house. So she told her daughter about it, and the daughter's furious and says she can't believe that all of her father's work is suddenly gone. And she also told her mom, I'm never going to be supporting you in your retirement. So the mom says, I don't think what I did is wrong. What do you think, Mike?
I think what she did was really, really stupid. Really self-centered, really short-sighted. And in the larger scheme of things, I think what she did was wrong because she was just not looking at the big picture, the long picture, that she just did not really, respect, I think, a lot of the things that her husband had done that it sounds like she didn't participate in, and it sounded like he did a lot of things in a responsible way, and she was acting emotionally younger than her 16-year-old daughter.
That's a good line. All right. Well, let's see what the answer says. Is the woman a jerk? Yes or no? Mike said she is. What does the internet say? That's right, Mike. The internet has decided, yes, she is not a good person. They went on, and they said about how a couple of people said your husband's just rolling in his grave right now about how you have just royally messed up. And then you mess up your daughter's education fund to boot. Oh, yes, it's just a complete nightmare. I couldn't imagine. No wonder why.
And it's so funny that people are so eager to put that out there on the internet for everybody to see forever and ever, as to how just really stupid they are. A great legacy.
Well, you know what? There is that too. At some point, the daughter's going to have children. Is going to be saying, "Hey, Mom, was this Granny? Did Granny actually do all this to you? This would be awful." All right, so I want to make sure we have time to help you out too, Mike. So what's on your mind?
Well, here it is. I had a flip phone a long time ago. One of the ones that were really hard to destroy, kind of the military clones, which is good because I'm hard on them. Then I got a smartphone, and what I found was I was just spending too much time on the smartphone, and I didn't have the discipline to put it down. Then I went to another smartphone, and now I want to go back to a flip phone, be a little bit simpler. Yeah, it'd be nice if it takes some pictures, be nice if I could have an app or two on it. But pretty much I want to talk and text to people and help me with my attention deficit disorder, being on the internet too much and surfing and all that junk, because I don't have the discipline that I should have. And I wonder what you thought about what kind.
You know what? You're honest, Mike. You're like, okay, it's like, you just gave me a little bit of something. Now I want more. 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 And it does take a lot of, as you said, discipline to put it down. Now, the good news is that flip phones, they are rugged, because you used the word rugged, and they do have basic cameras and just calling and texts. Whether or not they can support any apps, it depends upon which one that you take a look at. But keep in mind that once you are able to install an app, then it probably is opening up the kimono's door for every other app that you want to have in existence to put that onto the phone, right? So just something to keep in mind. Yeah. And so if you're looking for a phone that's just going to be able to text, call, give you a camera, play some music, let you use a headset, Bluetooth headset, then you're probably looking at something like a Corsair. The Dora XE is about $150, and it's a pretty darn good phone. Okay. Now, if you want something that may be a flip phone that gives you all those apps, but again, I'm going to be giving you back the candy. And then you're going to that you can look at something like a Motorola Razr phone, because you did mention a flip phone. Now, if you want to really get a phone that is just a phone, okay, is that there's a company called Lite Phone. That's LITE phone. And its primary function is to what? Call and text, okay? You can manage your contacts. It doesn't have any internet connectivity. It doesn't allow for any apps. It has basic features like an alarm clock, a calculator, and a calendar, but it doesn't have a camera, it doesn't have a music player, and it doesn't let you get on the internet. So depending upon how far you want to take this, is that if you're just looking for a basic flip phone, then take a look at the Corsair, the Dora XE. As I mentioned, it's about $150. And then if you want to take a look at the Lite Phone, that's for if you're like, okay, I totally just want a phone. That's all I want, just to call and text, nothing else. It's a pretty good darn phone for that. It just takes, last time I checked, about 3 to 4 weeks for you to actually get one in on the Lite Phone, because I think they're kind of making them as they go along, but it's pretty popular with folks that are really having trouble and struggling with all the distractions of a phone. And Mike, thank you for playing along with us today, too, on the show. All right, I thought it would be interesting to take a look at artificial intelligence and jobs. I mean, so many people are afraid that AI, it's going to take away your job, but maybe you could get a new gig because of AI. So we started doing some research, like what type of jobs could be out there. I'm talking about in the upper echelon, the high pay range. Okay, well, first of all, OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT, and they're hiring. They're looking for a person to join the policy research team, an experienced machine learning researcher. Now, the pay is up to $375,000 a year. Wow. What you do is you test and evaluate AI systems, and you're looking for untruthful, undesirable model behavior. Not sure what that means, other than AI just likes to spit off a whole bunch of bad stuff that's not true. It is located in San Francisco. You do have to be there, and they offer relocation perks. Adobe is offering $200,200 for a senior creative evangelist. And then they say that 50% of the job requires travel because you have to lead demos, community engagement, and events. Basically, you're going to be just talking about how AI and Adobe are making nice with each other. There's something called the natural language processing. That's up to $190,000. That's a job over at Geico. And they say that you need to have experience and passion for innovation at the intersection of data, experimentation, and marketing. Okay, you need 3+ years of data science experience, design of experiments. There's an AI researcher up to $240,000. There's a data annotation specialist. That's over at Microsoft. They say that you're going to help build the next generation of speech recognition. There's a prompt engineer and librarian. And your job is going to be to discover, test, and document the best practices and build a library of prompts. They want a creative hacker spirit and somebody who loves to solve puzzles. That job up to $375,000 a year. So if you say, hey, Kim Commando, I'm qualified for that, or you know somebody who is, just hit the website. That's where we have all those links. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls, as well as not just a VPN, but a double VPN. What the heck is that? You will know if you stay with me. Here on Kim Commando Today. Jane in Carlsbad, California.
Hi, Kim. Thanks so much for taking my call. So, you always have such amazing solutions, so I finally had to call. My situation is I do a lot of consulting, and typically I keep it either face-to-face or we do email so I can make a record of things. But I have one client who actually can't speak, and it's much easier for her to text. So I've ended up with these long strings of text that I need to somehow import into a more secure and permanent storage, whether it's print or whether it's getting it onto my hard drive, but I need to get it off my phone.
Okay. Well, of course, there's just a slew of texting apps, right? And the text, when I'm talking about texting apps, like will retrieve the text and save the text and then back them up and allow you to print them and do things like that. What kind of phone do you have?
Okay, so that's where I'm ignorant. I don't know. I tried looking for those apps, but I don't know. I have a Samsung.
All right. If this were me, let me tell you what I would do. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is that I wouldn't necessarily rely on and trying to use one of these third-party save my text messages apps, because I think you need something more important and something better for this. So let me just walk you through some of the scenarios. And if you want to look at those texting apps afterwards, we can talk about that. But there's something called Google Voice. And with Google Voice, you can have it, it gives your phone number an additional phone number, okay? And when that phone number rings or that phone number gets a text, it actually it'll come on your Samsung phone, okay? But what I like about it for you is that you can set up alerts for text messages for just specific people. So this one person who cannot speak. And then you get a custom notification alert that's saying, hey, let's just say her name's Mary. Okay. Mary sent you a text. And you're like, oh, okay, I better pay attention to this. You can also say, hey, this is Mary's text. I need to put it into the special folder. Okay. And then you can also specify certain things that may be in the text. So if there are certain words that this person is like, oh, okay, then this is even a higher alert for me. And it's free. And then you can set up all these notification settings for the contacts or the numbers, and you just enable it. And then all of this is saved, by the way, right on your phone. So you don't need an additional additional app in order for you to say, oh, I need to see all the text messages from Mary, because you're just going to have them right there inside the app, okay? Now, if that sounds like, well, that's just too much, I just want to be able to back up my text messages, on a Samsung, there's a in the Google Play, it's called SMS, backup and restore.
Yeah, it's not about mostly backing up. It's mostly about being able to access them later and get through without having to scroll on the phone. I'd rather have pages where I could just look for
exactly.
key.
Yeah, this is the SMS backup. That's what it's going to do. It's going to make a complete backup on your computer. So this way you can scan, you can look for certain words. You're like, okay, I think she sent me that back in April when she used the word horse, and I just want to find the word horse, or whatever it may be. Okay, so that's where you're going to use SMS backup, and we can send you a link to that because there's always 1,000 of them in the Google Play Store. I want to make sure that you get the right one. And then if you were on an iPhone, it's we called iExplorer. Once again, that's iExplorer. So it's either one of these that would be either solution. I think would be best. It depends upon how your business works and how you're using your business, whether or not you want to go into the Google Voice land, or if you just want to use that SMS backup and restore, which also works very well. And as I mentioned, Jane, you're on Samsung. For everybody else in the world, if you are on an iPhone, that's where you want to look at iExplorer. We have links to both of these, by the way, on our website. That's commando.com. Hey, once again, if you need links to those programs to save your text messages, we have them just over on the website. That's commando.com. Okay, this is part of the show where I am telling you to just do it. Just go out there. Do not pass go. Do not question me, because you will just love it. Go to commando.com/subscribe and sign up for our free daily tech news email newsletter. It has one ad. That's it. Okay. And everything that you need to read is right in the email newsletter. I'm telling you, we've got, 40,000 thumbs up and 2,000 thumbs down. So everybody's loving it, and you will too. Head over to commando.com/subscribe. Alrighty, if you're already using a VPN, you're on the right track, but you can take it to the next level with something that's called a double VPN. It's also called a multi-hop. It adds an extra layer of encryption and anonymity to your online activity. So first you have to sign up for a VPN service that offers it, and of course ExpressVPN does it. And then you connect to your first VPN server, and then once you're connected, you go to a second VPN server from within the app or the software. So this way, the whole idea is that it's even more difficult for anyone to trace your activity back to your IP address. And so again, that's called a double VPN. And we've got, of course, written up for you over on the website. Be sure to tell 3 friends about the Kim Komando Show and the Kim Komando Today podcast, because knowledge is power. You can find me at Komando.com.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.